Where the hell is this man going? The path less traveled, Josie? What we doing? Hey. We're out here at Table Rock. What trail? The Carrot Trail that we're doing? Beautiful views. A lot of what we do during a Spartan isn't necessarily the running, but power hiking. And honestly, that drains stamina a little differently than a run does.
Usually after a Spartan race, my hip flexors and my psoas be so tight from hiking up stuff. So training the off season so the race is easy.
20 miles down, 37 to go. Nah, y'all want to hear two fat guys breathing heavy? Just keep listening.
We went off trail a little bit to look around, and here's what we found.
The first mile, we're just going steady. We're not really trying to push through it. 22.
Yep. So, really trying to go. I guess we're trying to keep a steady pace, but also go slower on ups and downs, just to kind of let the legs really feel it, to kind of simulate, I guess.
Yeah.
The tiredness, because honestly, now we have some elite friends. They crush the whole race, but a lot of times you'll start to burn out, so you'll eventually have to be walking. And you want to build up that kind of walking endurance because it's not the same muscles you use walking versus running. So
it feels completely different when you're traveling like power hike up and down these hills. The other thing is some of these declines are tough on the knees, so we're just trying to, work on letting our bodies get used to, our joints get used to that. So
still getting a sweat, as you can see.
Yeah, see what?
But so that's where we're at now. We'll check back in a few, I guess, when we find another good spot.
Straight up. Does that remind you of Tryon?
So that reminds me of like Cincinnati right here.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of like what that one like so they had like 8-foot wall, and then after the 8-foot wall you had a hill like this. It sucked.
Like I don't know if y'all can see. I'm gonna try to zoom in a little bit so I can see what that is up there. That is the actual ground up there.
I like this. I actually fell once.
Really?
So we were
Story time.
We were at Caesar's Head, and we went off trail, and we found like this waterfall, and there was these rocks, and there was like a hole in between them, and I went to slip, and I slipped off, and boom, hit the ground. And I didn't have shoes on because we didn't want to get our shoes wet. Oh, I felt like my feet were broken, like, which might explain some of it. But still, yeah. Be careful on wet rocks. They are a lot more slippery than you think.
Hold on a second. Look at that. I'm not. You got.
You don't feel too safe.
It's not safe. I'm gonna stop recording this just in case he dies. Question time. Of all of the venues you've run at so far, which do you feel was the least challenging?
The least challenging.
Yep. AKA, where would you send a beginner?
This is the hardest one. They want the experience, they're gonna earn it. I would say Jacksonville.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
The weather's like hot and humid or whatever, but it's pretty level ground. What am I talking about? Fayetteville. Yeah, that's easy. Sorry. Fayetteville would probably be the best. Fayetteville or Jacksonville, one of those two. I wouldn't want to send a beginner, but if you're wanting the easiest one to kind of get your feet wet, do one of those two. Do a sprint with a group of people, because that's the best time to do it. And just have fun. What about you? What is the easiest one that you've done?
I would send people to Jacksonville, the motocross park. It had some nice chill slopes to it. Some good slopes. It was kind of sandy. The only really tough part was the 400 yard, not meter, 400 yard. No, it wasn't even 400. It was longer than a football field though. Uphill, added water, barbed wire crawl. It was fun, but it was the toughest part of the race, and it was still fun. So, I would send people to Jacksonville, the motocross park.
Piggybacking off that, what has been your favorite barbed wire crawl of all?
Ooh.
'Cause it used to be just straight barbed wire on the ground. Now they've done some crazy stuff with it. So, what is your favorite barbed wire?
My favorite barbed wire crawl would have to be Fayetteville from when we first did it. This first trifecta weekend we did.
No, just because of holes.
No, it didn't have holes. It was longer and it was hot, and it was one of the first times I was comfortable taking my shirt off to do an obstacle. I realized I'm just here for the work, and I went to work and it was hard. I had fractured my tibia during that race, so part of what makes it my favorite, I think, is the memory with it. What about you?
I'll tell you, my hardest one was actually the first one. That's where I almost gave up.
Yeah.
Luckily, Chris came there and saved me from quitting. That was.
So it was.
I don't know what it was because it was flat. It wasn't super long. There was 2 areas to it, but for some reason, when I got down, like I couldn't breathe for some reason while I was crawling. Like I couldn't breathe. But that's a little side note.
You mentioned the cold water a couple times.
Okay, that was the same race, but that was after the barbed wire crawl. So I don't know. I just couldn't breathe that first race. That was crazy.
But you went through it.
Yep. That was Tryon.
Yep.
My favorite one so far is actually. Can you go off track? Oh, okay. All right. Tied between 2 of them. The latest one was Cincinnati because Sorry, I'm being a child. Walking over. But Cincinnati, because it was just extremely tough. You got holes. You got them spraying water down on you, and it's uphill. Wild. But my favorite is probably, it was Tryon, but years later, I think last year, it was completely float. Like you could float.
Yeah,
underneath.
we were swimming.
It was just cool to be able to like swim underneath the barbed wire.
All right, we're just about done. Heading back. We got about 2 in. Nothing crazy. This is where we are. And the views just get better and better. The views just get better and better. I don't know if you saw that ray of sunshine, but I don't know where it went. It was crazy.
Crazy. Wow.
The biggest takeaway for me is I got to get my joints back used to this stuff. I've had a few weeks off as a break. Right? I've been off since May? No, April. I've been off since April. No, I've been off since May. Ran in May. Josie's been off for a couple weeks now. So, time to get back to it, sir? Oh. Time to get back to it.
Appreciate y'all coming along with us. Watch us. Until next one, I guess.
All right.